and Namaste, this is Danfe TV. On today's news, we have a report titled is Nepal needs to think about how to secure itself by staying close to China and India. The government is trying to reduce the influence of China, which is expanding in Nepal. It is clear that even before the information of the five-party coalition government by displacing the KP Oli's government, the government has given more importance to the West than China. Since then, India seems to be focused on the latter. However, India's influence in Nepal has not returned to the old state. In 2072 BS, India had made great efforts to stop the constitution drafting process. India imposed a blockade after its wish was not fulfilled, due to which anti-India public opinion developed in Nepal. China seems to have made great use of that time, due to which the public opinion towards China was increasing in Nepal. Although the Chinese influence in Nepal increased during the Oli government, with the formation of the current coalition government, work is being done with India and the United States at the center. A recent example is the farewell of Indian ambassador to Nepal, Vinay Mohan Quatra. Leaders including Prime Minister Sarvado Deuba, CPN-MC Chairman Pushpakamal Dal and CPN-US Chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal were present at the occasion of the farewell of Indian ambassador to Nepal, Vinay Mohan Quatra, who is promoted to Foreign Secretary. The line of leaders at the dinner held at the Indian Embassy in Lainchor on Chaitra 29 shows how much priority Nepal has given to India is clear. Efforts made by Nepali leaders to mend broken relations with India after 2072 BS have not been fruitful so far. One of the reasons behind this is the removal of Congress from power. Many of today's Nepali leaders have more ties to the Congress than to the BJP. S. Jayasankar, who has made every effort till the last moment to stop the process of promulgating the constitution that Nepal is about to issue, is now the Foreign Minister of India. During the visit to India, Prime Minister Deuba had a discussion on deepening Nepal and India relation with him. Before holding talks with Jayasankar, Prime Minister Deuba visited the Bharatiya Janata Party's headquarters. There, Prime Minister Deuba was welcomed by National's President J.P. Nadda. They discussed issues of mutual interest. Deuba is likely to be Nepal's first Prime Minister to visit the party's office during the visit to India. It is not common for the Prime Minister or head of the government of one country to visit another country's party's office. In diplomatic language, this is considered an act beyond etiquette. In Balwatar, Prime Minister Deuba's wife Arju Rana tied Raksha Bandhan on 7th Bhadra to Bharatiya Janata Party's Foreign Affairs Chief Dr. Vinay Chauthaiwale. Chauthaiwale, who is on a 4-day visit to Nepal, had linked the Bharatiya Janata Party with Prime Minister Deuba. Earlier, Deuba and BJP leaders did not much have contact. Distant relation with China and a close relation with the United States. The current government is closer to the United States than India. A meeting of the ruling coalition was being held in Balwatar to settle the issue in the local elections on 5th Baisakh. While the meeting was going on, US Ambassador Randy Berry entered in Balwatar. After the dispute escalated in the first meeting, Ambassador Berry entered in Balwatar, while the coalition parties were sitting in the second meeting. Coincidentally, Nepali Congress was ready to hand over the responsibility of the Bharatpur metropolitan city to the Maoist. Earlier, there was a big controversy within the Congress over Bharatpur. High-ranking Congress leaders had raised the label of friendly relations with the Maoists in Bharatpur. Leaving the coalition meeting and attending a press conference on Paris Tada, Maoist chairman Dal said that they were looking for a metropolis. He said, "We are not just saying of Bharatpur. We agree in Biratnagar as well." President Dal had hinted at a press conference that the alliance could break up. However, his claim did not last even for a few hours. After helping to pass the MCC, Ambassador Berry also has a close relationship with CPN-MC Chairman Dal. However, the Maoists have had American relations since 2054 BS. It is understood that some of the recent disputes over the government have been mediated by US Ambassador Berry. Berry also visited Balwatar in the morning when Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited to Nepal. Foreign Minister Wang arrived in Kathmandu on 10th of Chaitra. During his stay in Kathmandu for 3 days, the government did not show much respect to Foreign Minister Wang. Foreign Minister Wang's visit was not as important as Quatra's farewell in Lainchor. Therefore, before the visit, Nepal did not want to go ahead with the program of signing the BRI implementation agreement for the construction of BRI infrastructure in Nepal proposed by China. the government of Nepal has put the proposal on hold, saying further study is needed. Prime Minister Deva and Foreign Minister Narayan Khadga have suggested that agreement should be clear on BRI grants and loans. The visit did not even reduce the growing distance between Nepal and China in recent times. After Foreign Minister Wang's visit to Nepal, the government decided to dismiss China Gejwa Water and Power Group from Burigandaki hydropower project. The decision was taken as per the proposal of the Ministry of Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation on 24th Chaitra. This incident also clarifies how the Chinese project will move forward in Nepal in the coming days. Foreign Minister Wang arrived in Nepal after Nepal signed the MCC agreement and Nepal voted against Russia in the United Nations. In the war between Russia and Ukraine, Nepal had established itself at the American pole. In addition, Nepal provided an environment for the US Embassy in Nepal to hold public programs in favor of Ukraine. After the MCC approval, US Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs Kelly Darling arrived in Kathmandu on 4th of Baisakh. She had come to Nepal 5 months ago to create an environment for MCC. This is her second visit to Nepal in 5 months. She came to Kathmandu in the third week of November. She met with government officials and civil society representatives. At the same time, US Assistant Secretary of State Donald Lu was on a visit to Nepal. As many as 200 Tibetan refugees have been given refugee identity cards with Kelly Darling's arrival in Kathmandu. Tibet issue. China seems to be afraid that Nepal will work for an independent Tibet in favor of the US. That is why China has been seeking consensus with Nepal for a long term in favor of the One China policy. Even during Foreign Minister Wang's recent visit, Nepali officials read easily about China's sensitivities and said, "Our land will not be used for anti-China activities." Nepali leaders seem to be thinking that China is not aware of the practical transformations of this elegant sentence. However, China is more aware of all kinds of anti-China activities in Nepal than Nepal. China is well aware that the government is openly supporting anti-China activities from Nepali soil. Not only this, the Chinese seems to be clear about the extent to which anti-China activities in Nepal affect China. In such situation, it cannot be said that Nepal's commitment is different from crocodile tears. The Tibet factor is not as it was yesterday. It is not a matter of assuming that the people of Tibet are currently opposed to China. Equally important is the extent to which they understand the Dalai Lama because of the unimaginable development that has taken place in Tibet. Therefore, the idea that the anti-China activities taking place in Nepal can cut the cold of the Himalayas and warm China seems to be going wrong. Therefore, the anti-China activities taking place on Nepali soil have not affected China much and cannot. If the Tibet factor does not work, then there is no importance of Nepal not only for China but also for the United States. The Americans seem to be interested in the precious minerals in Nepal. China doesn't have that either. In such a situation, the diminishing importance of Nepal cannot be considered unnatural. On the other hand, if Nepal's parties are trying to keep China away, it does not mean that they only need Nepal. The issue of Tibetans in Nepal or India is an internal matter of China. China is not like the past. China, a key player in today's global economy, needs to address this issue as soon as possible. As a result, the American game in the Himalayan region will end forever. If the idea of improving the lives of Tibetan refugees in Nepal and India and preventing them from becoming American playgrounds is working, then this issue is not a big problem today. But Americans want to make it a big problem. Nepal, China and India. The Deva government's first agenda was to mend broken relations with India. It means the Deva government's first agenda was to mend broken relations with India. It seems that Deva has made all kinds of effort in this regard. However, Nepal has forgotten the status and role of India today. The first issue that needs to be clarified in Nepal is where does India stay? At present, India's foreign policy is not clear. Initially, India remained neutral on Ukraine. In other words, India did not side with European countries, including the United States on Ukraine. Lately, it seems that India has started to side with the American campaign again. During the Cold War, India sided with the Soviet Union. Due to the cooperation with the Soviet Union, various development projects in India also moved forward. After the border war of 1962, India began to see China as its worst enemy. Even today, the Indian media sees China in the same way. They have not changed their attitude towards China. India now seems to be confused about where to see. India has recently cancelled a tender for the purchase of 48 helicopters from Russia, citing the Ukraine war. On the other hand, India has increased the amount of petroleum it buys from Russia. Russia's oil reserves had risen as countries including the United States refused to buy petroleum from Russia due to the Ukraine war. In March and April 2022 only, India imported 14 million barrels of crude oil from Russia. From the above two incidents, it is clear that India has not been able to leave Russia. Helicopter purchase was criticized in India. The issue of crude oil was criticized by European countries. In response, India said, I have not taken as much oil from Russia as you can buy in one day. If India stays at Russia's pole, it could be an alliance of China, India, Russia, and North Korea. In that case, Nepal will still be in trouble. If India sided with the US interest in Nepal would diminish. India will also be at the center of the Indo-Pacific strategy. As a result, direct American pressure on Nepal seems to be reduced. The United States can also see through Indian glasses on Nepal. That is why the US can see Nepal through the eyes of India. Such is the understanding of Nepal political party leaders and political analysts. However, it seems that the US wants to move forward by dealing directly with Nepal and not through Indians. The US has its eye on Nepal's uranium, lithium, copper, and gold mines. If India increases its inclination towards China and Russia, then Nepal will be at the center of Indo-Pacific strategy. With this strategy of encircling China, Nepal seems to be in double pressure. Therefore, Nepal needs to think about how to secure itself by staying close to India and China. That is why Prithvinarayan Shah said Nepal is a yam between two stones. Now Nepal has become a weak yam between two stones. Other analysts believe that the roadmap for this issue can be viewed in this way. If the way of India becomes clear as soon as possible, it will be easier for Nepal to choose where to stay. When India goes to the American line, Nepal could be pressed between China and India. Neighbors first should be clear thought for Nepal. Seeing the US close and China and India far away can make Nepal even more lonely. China should lead economic development in this area. And China should also move forward with Nepal and Nepalese in its faith. Otherwise, China's security and integrity could be affected while the current situation in Nepal remains the same. With this, we are at the end of the report. If you are liking our content, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.